Hello and welcome to Tea with the Queens. I am yet excited about another episode. I'm always excited to speak with the lovely women and the handsome men that come on a platform to be able to share with you and for all, and also they share with me. So much goes into this and so much is poured out, and I'm just so grateful that they join us on Tea with the Queens, where we talk about transformation, empowerment, and acquiring the skills that we gain in applying them to our lives and our business. However, I think that Tea with the Queens is going to get a slight change in the future, where it's going to be T, which is transformation, empowerment, which is the E, and A, we're going to talk about achievement. So with acquiring those skills, we need to move towards achievement. So I'm thinking about doing achievement instead of acquiring, so that we can kind of, get to the end goal, to reach our goals and everything, the achievement of it. So I'm still pondering with that. But anyway, Tea with the Queens. But we have an awesome guest today, Miss Kelley. And we've been trying to get together for a minute, but God has blessed us to be able to share in this hour. And I'm going to bring her up and let her kind of introduce herself and let us know who she is and what she does and where she's from and what is going to be going on with her in the future. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Miss Kelley. Hey! Welcome to Tea with the Queens. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Looking beautiful and looking vibrant. And I am glad, like I said, that God opened that door for us to be able to finally meet and to share with each other.
Yes.
So, can you let us know a little bit about who Kelley is?
Kelley Smith. That's what I go by. It's easier. First name is Calaminter.
Oh, okay.
Um, People ask me what it means. I still haven't found out. Someone said gentle spirit, maybe that may be, but I am going to check into that. But I go by Kelley. For those that are on Facebook know me as Kelley Poet, InMotion Smith. I am a wife of 30 years, a mother of three, a grandmother of two lovely little ladies. Sometimes I feel like the oldest one is older than I am.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Of course, I'm a intercessor, prayer warrior. I am a author, writer, a literary midwife. Because I love helping people get their book out their system.
Yeah.
Is something that is near and dear to my heart. As far as with me, I have written over 10, 12 books, and then I am a part of quite a bit of anthologies. One is including the Fearless Living. This will make the third project I am involved in, and then also involved in the chain breaking experience, and this is my third time with that anthology project. So I'm excited about what God is doing, and I'm still working on my individual projects that I've been charged to do.
Exactly. Look, I wrote one book in one journal, and then I went to anthology. So you have eight,
Yes.
and I was really trying to do another one. I got spoiled on the anthologies because it's like the collaboration. But I do have something in me, another book just on my own. But it was so much work, and I'm like,
Yes.
it was a lot of work. I will
It
say that. And so I feel that you being the literary midwife is perfect because you have that to show for. Because a lot of times it's hard to deliver one book to get all that out of you because
yes.
you're the one, you're delivering everything. So you gotta be the one that pour it out.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I mean, I thank God for that opportunity, and it was a blessing. It was my first one, so I was a little nervous about it, but once I got
Okay.
going, I was very excited about it. But I mean, to do it again, I know I have to do it again, but oh my God, I may be needing you.
No problem. No
So,
problem.
so, um, so what with your writing, what was your first book, and what was your first book about?
My first book was inspirational poetry. Just something that I have been writing since I was 15 years old. Put it aside, and one of the things that guy had really got on me about was this is not for you to harbor. It is something for you to share with others because somebody needs to read, inspirations from the heart, or someone needs to hear sacred thoughts, understanding the journey, or someone needs to hear living beyond self, searching for meaning. So these books are Holy Spirit inspired. It's not me. Some of it is testimony, some of them, but others have been just, being led by the Holy Spirit to write and to inspire. Um, One of my sisters in Christ said that the book, Living Beyond Self, Searching for Meaning, was such an inspiration. It was like a deliverance ministry for that book because it does deal with some things that, as a culture, we tend to sweep things under the rug. And one of the writings was about uh, where a child was uh, being molested, but it was swept under the rug. Nobody dealt with that. And this is things that need to be addressed because we tend to just push it aside and not even considering what that child may feel or
Yes.
their mentality of it. Now they have to deal with that along with growing up and holding that. And it deals with a lot about mental health, even though it don't really say mental health, but it is in that mental health state to where we have to let things go. We have to give it to God. We can't hold it. We can't harbor it. It doesn't do our body any good anyway. So that's why I think I wrote because at the age of 15, I was battling kidney failure.
Oh
And
wow.
so, right before I got to high school, I had to take off a whole semester of school. So that was challenging enough. It was like I just was getting ready to go to high school, and they say, "Oh, you're gonna need a kidney transplant. You got to go to dialysis. You got to take this medication. You can't go outside." And when I talked to my mother's mother, she was like, well, she said, well, baby, get you a journal. She said, and start writing. Write down what you feel. She says, no matter what it is, just write it out. And that's how I started writing.
See, and it's something like you said at 15, how that was the thoughts of a 15-year-old and how it kind of evolved over time.
Yeah,
And you seeing that, it's like, man, a lot of times people, they write about those times, but you rarely see someone that's writing in those times and then share it. And
right.
also, thank God you look well. You hear you wouldn't, not unless you had said something. Of course, you would never know that you had went through that. And thank God you are here. That's why you have a purpose,
Yes.
because you are still
Amen.
here, made it past those moments. And that's a lot to go through at 15 and then miss a whole semester.
Yes.
So
And it's like, it was like, once I got back, family, pray mother, pray my grandmother, all my aunts, but it was like that mental state of, man, I'm behind. How can I catch up? And so it played on my mind because it was like, while everybody else fully in a whole nother semester, I'm playing catch up. And the thing about it was DPS was supposed to have given me my work, but my mother and my father, they didn't want to provide that work. So here I am struggling, trying to catch up and feeling like, okay, what's the use? This what's the use? I already had some other challenges, home challenges.
wow.
Like it was so crazy. It was like it's no wonder it's no wonder God saved me at that time when I was young, because I could have been on drugs. I could have, been dropped out of school, and it, being
Okay.
a alcoholic, all sorts of things. Got into more. I wasn't a trouble kid, but I could have been led down the wrong way had I not had a praying family
Yeah.
and being able to write out what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. Because it was a struggle.
Yeah.
High school never was a struggle
Yeah.
being that age. And then dealing with that and playing catch up.
Yeah. That's a lot. Junior high was for me. Junior high was horrible for me. It's the junior high, the kids were so mean. I mean, but yeah, it's like when you're dealing with those things, and then like you say, high school,
Mm,
because it's like if you're going through that, college or whatever, you could take a break, then you
right,
could just get back in there, or you don't have to even worry about going all day because the classes are not back to back to back. But when you're in high
right.
school, it's a lot to lose, and it's a lot riding on that because they
Yeah,
look at your transcripts and whatever you're trying to do. It's like everybody want that transcript. They want to know how you did, what you're doing. So that's a
right.
big deal. And to be able, like you said, if it wasn't for your relationship, even at that time, then those around you lifting you up in prayer, and then, like you said, having that mindset of Christ and be able to write about it and now then share it, years later. Yeah, I said that that is truly you're the midwife because you birthed all those things, and
Yeah.
yeah, that experience. So anybody that will work with you will be blessed to work with you because you got. I mean, you're the proof. So if anybody's questioning, Miss Kelley is the proof. What I'm saying when don't if you want results, you go where the proof is. So,
Amen.
but
Yes.
talk about your anthology with Fearless Living, just to, I don't want to give all away. Okay, well, let's say this. What was the inspiration of you, to decide to do this project without us spilling the beans too soon on the chapter?
Oh, wow.
Because Marianne is killing me.
Well, I love to inspire and motivate other people. That has just been my way of like. There's so much already going on in the world, so much negativity going on. We need something positive. So let me be the one that inspire you. Let me use my experiences or my life as an inspiration to, hey, this and this happened, but I pulled through. It wasn't easy. It's not going to be easy. But know that you can pull through regardless of what's going on. Even now, being challenged. I had two surgeries on both hands. I had a surgery on both hands, but even challenged, I still looking for ways to write, looking for ways to be able to get my assignments done without being behind or hindered. So, my goal, my passion is to inspire others, to encourage them, to lift them up. It's not easy, Somebody did it for me. Let me return that favor and do it for someone else.
Yeah, and like you were saying, the way that the book is designed is really going to be a blessing, to individuals. That's why I like anthologies because you get that one book, and you have so many different stories, and it's something in the book is going you're going to resonate with, if not all of it.
Yes. Right.
But your story is perseverance and resilience. I can never say perseverance. The persevere. I don't know perseverance and resilience
Yes.
is what is in that book. It sounds, of course that's what's in your story, and you can hear that all through the story. And what I want to talk about now is that spiritual part of it, that prayer warrior that's there. And you know I don't. It's like I don't know how to bring up that, but just other than just getting into that because that is that being a prayer warrior, not only for yourself but for others.
Yes.
That's the root of our being, is
Yeah.
that connection with God, being able to talk to Him and being able to commune with Him and being able to have Jesus at the right hand and to
Yes.
intercede on our behalf. All of those things make us who we are. Those who do believe and
Yeah.
those who don't believe, um, that maybe desire, to
Right.
know something about spirituality. This direction, is one that has proven itself over and over and over again in my life, your life, and I think just overall in this world, the prophecies are living, to this day. So that source is who we are, and that is our lifeline. So can you talk about your ministry and share with us?
Well, my my mother's mother, they had always been in ministry. So I had to be about 6 or 7 years old when my grandmother taught me how to pray, and I would always grab my sisters and I'd be like, "Okay, let's go." Grandma said, "Get in the closet and let's go pray." And so that has always been a part of my journey, a part of our family history. Just knowing that, we can't live off of our grandmothers and our mothers' testimony. We are going to have our own testimony. And so when they say, "Hey, you gotta go pray," just talk to the Father, just like we having a regular conversation. Let him know he already know, but he want to hear from you. And so just knowing that I can go to the Father and Lord and be like, "Lord, today wasn't a good day. This is what's going on. Lord, I need your help. I need your insight." And the Bible tells us that He hears us when we call upon Him, that He's ready to answer. And so it's good that even rereading the Bible, we still find those extra nuggets that we may have missed the first time or the second time. And just knowing that He cares enough for us and even give you a word. Don't even worry about everything else. Just follow me. Everything else will fall into place. And that there hold dear to my heart, that no matter what's going on, everything gonna fall into place. I got your family in my hands, and I see it. I see it daily, and I'm grateful for it. I thank God for it.
And that's so needed. And when you've had heartache and you've had heartbreak, um, when you hear go in prayer about it, it's like you don't want to go into prayer because you're so hurt, but
Right.
when you go and you know that you are in prayer, He hears you,
Yeah.
that He's going to be there in that hour. And once you know that and you feel that, it changes the whole direction in your life. That happened to me. Now I've always been in church or spiritual. I mean, even when I was young, I was 10 years old and I used to sneak in the bathroom, not sneak, but go in the bathroom and lock the door with the Bible, and I used to kneel at the tub and pray. Because I locked the door because one day my mom caught me, and it embarrassed me because I was, young, and you're not supposed to be that serious about all of that, but I was.
Right.
And and it's but when life started to happen, I know I got deeper and deeper in prayer, and at a young
Yeah.
age, I was 19, and we'd just be praying. We had a prayer group in college. I mean, we were just in there, and I prayed over my family. I just prayed over everything, and I'm like, okay, I got this. Then when tragedy struck, in life, you call it tragedy, but it's a part of life. But
Yes.
I lost my son, and when that happened, I'm like, well, I don't want to pray. I'm hurt. I'm like, I don't understand. But when I got into that place, alone, and I took some time to myself, and I took a long time, and I
Mm.
went into prayer, I felt closer to God than I had ever felt. In that moment because of that source. So
Yeah.
never underestimate when you're going through the power of prayer.
Amen.
And if you think that it won't change you or it won't heal you or it won't even inspire you, but it will. That's what it's there for. And even in those circumstances where you feel it can't get no worse,
Hmm.
he has made it better. And
Definitely.
prayer is the
Definitely.
so thank you for sharing that. And that's deep. And that's why when I saw that it said prayer warrior, I was like, I know I wanted to talk about that, because it's it's such a part of a lot of people's lives, more
Yeah.
people than not. But with everything that's going on, even with COVID, just a whole lot of things that kind of, probably steered us away
Hmm.
from those roots because it was a difficult time.
Yes.
And you got about the economy. You talking about a lot of things that was going on. But again, prayer. Don't be afraid of prayer. Don't be ashamed of prayer. And
Right.
constantly pray. But
Yes.
our help comes from Him. Like you say, He already knows. He just want to hear from us.
Yes. And you can't,
That's amazing.
yes, and you can't be afraid to reach out to others who know how to get a prayer through. 2 years ago, my family had a traumatic experience where my husband suffered a brain aneurysm, which caused a stroke. And there were times where, by us being in the thick of it, it was hard to pray.
Yeah,
Just be real. It was hard to pray. It was like, Lord, here we are again. Second, not the first, the second time. And I'm like, Lord, I need you to move on his behalf. I said, I can't do this alone. I had to call out some the heavy artillery. I had to call on those people, my family, those that know how to get a prayer through. We had to lean on them. And it was a season of back to back stuff happening. We had to move. They sold the house. Um, I had to leave my job, take care of him. Then it was like so much was so much was going on. It was like, Lord, what like what is going on? It was like, okay, Lord. I know you. I know you see what's going on. I know you know that the enemy is just coming back to back to back to back to back. I said, but God, I am not angry. I know you're gonna bring us through this. I don't know how. I said, just give me the strength. And it was like, Lord, what are we gonna do? Where our
right.
our total dependence, our total living dependence was upon him. But because of the grace of God, and because I had that willingness, Lord, I can't, because it's too close to the heart. Let me call on some people. Hey, can you pray with me? Can you pray for us? Can you see? I need a sniper prayer. I need somebody strong that's not afraid to go against the enemy on our behalf.
Yeah, that's true because it's and a lot of times when we're like you say in the thick of it, we need prayer. We
Yes.
are weak. We going through with them, not them going through alone. We're like you said, it's too close to home. We're connected, so then we need just as much prayer as the other.
Yes.
And that makes a big difference. And like you say, when he allows it, you have to accept it. But it's almost sometimes like, Lord, I'm tired. I don't want this. But he's gonna bring you out there, and you hear this the saying that we survive 100% of the things that we go through. If we still here in this world, we survived it. But it's like, oh,
Yes.
so yes, that's what prayer is. Prayer is the key. I mean, you can't unlock anything without that. Um, even that feeling of peace. You
Yes.
know, you get to that place and you get to that secret place and you call on them. That's where your peace comes. So
Yes.
if you're in trouble and you feeling weary, pray.
Pray.
And you ain't got to go and you ain't got to turn flips and you ain't got to go out there on the corners and announce it. Just just pray.
Yes. Yes. Most definitely.
So what's next? Oh, so you are an event planner.
Yes.
So with the event planning, is that for like parties or is it for conferences or both?
So, because I'm an author, my business is the right to inspire, and so what it does, it teaches those that are interested how to organize a book from the cover to the interior. I love doing that. I have had previous virtual workshops, and also provide material in regards to how to do an outline. Most of the times you just want to write, but doing the outline, let you know what chapter, what goes in the book, how to get book covers where you don't have to really pay a whole lot. It is cost efficient and cost friendly. Also, with the business I'm partnered with my sister, the Attitude to Empower. It's a sister company. Uh, so
Excuse
with
my hands, but I got something. I wanted to put website up. It was a little generic me reaching over, but hey, my
Yes,
platform. Oh, there
okay.
you go.
So the Attitude to Empower is a humanitarian services. We are big in fostering care with
Oh,
aging kids that are coming out of foster care. We do
yeah.
toys for tots. So we haven't done it in a few years because of the challenges, but we did. I did do an annual Mother's Day gala here in Michigan, and it was to honor those mothers that have went on and wasn't able to really share their testimony and share their experiences, but wanted to honor those mothers. So I did have that, and I just love to be able to encourage mothers and just families. So much where families work and toil, and they just want to see just to reap the benefits of them for working hard. So,
Yeah.
honoring mothers, we was trying to plan something for Father's Day, but unfortunately, the venue had been already taken. So we are doing something um, in 2025 for Mother's Day and Father's Day. But that's what we do.
Okay.
We love workshops. We love event planning where we can honor and have something planned for the youth as well. So in 2025, we will be doing a youth conference to where the youth can really expand and grow and bring in some partners that will also speak to the youth that may want to write a book or that may want to talk about business or building their business or
Yeah.
even owning a business. So these things, the things that we haven't been taught in high school, we want to bring that to them so that they can experience that and have maybe a little event where they can have fun and enjoy.
That's awesome, and I think that's needed. And one thing that you did say, especially about the foster care, those who are aging out, that's
Yeah,
something because there's they have no place to go, and
exactly.
sometimes that part when they're released to actually being considered legal adult, they
Hmm.
need that guidance, and they just
Yeah,
out there they're lost. It's no
yeah,
place for them to go, and that is so important. And years ago, I saw the need for that because I was working in adoption and foster care as a case manager, and I saw with them age out, and it's like, well, what happens to them
yeah,
when they age out because the families don't have to keep them, they don't have to have anything to do with them. You have
mm,
some families that will,
yeah,
but they're just out there, and I'm like, I can't even imagine really just having no place to go, and I can't imagine that there's no support for them. But
right.
it's true throughout the country. That happens a whole lot, and that part of it, we need that. So that is great to have that, but that's something that's not really heard of
Hmm.
anywhere. And
Exactly.
it's sad. And the thing is, too, a lot of them end up in placement not because of their own fault, but they suffer so much in either placement or foster care. They suffer so much. It's almost like they're being punished. And
Hmm.
then they're left out, turn 18, 19. Now we don't want anything to do with you. So the
Right.
system really, really, really needs to change. I haven't been in it in a while, so I'm not sure if in this area it has, but it was horrible.
Yeah.
And there was just no support. And I never understood that how you would put children, even in the group homes, that
Mm.
with others who were truant or just constantly causing trouble, and you take the same children who were taken out of the home for no fault of their own, and you put them together into this community, and you want to impose the same consequences. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
But you saw that a lot as well. But that is great for you to be able to do that. And that's the thing too, when we have organizations or we have our businesses, to be able to give back to the community and to understand, like you were saying, the toys for tots and having the events for the young people, those who may not even know nothing about entrepreneurship, to be able to learn even in a quick workshop, and even if you do it in person or virtually. But I will say, if you can share, because by you being, such a business person, and having your event planning, and even having, ministry, all of those things, and even, what would you say? Um, the importance is of of a business person, or entrepreneur, solopreneur, however you want to say it. What is the importance of really sharing your story in a book while you're starting your business?
Sharing your story, you never know who it touches. You never know who might need to hear uh, just that word of encouragement, word that will inspire them. So many times we spill negative words, negativity in the family, negative people telling you that you can't, you can't, you can't. But in this book, you can say, yes, you can. You can write this book. You can start that business. You can go back to school. No matter what age you are, you can do it. And that's one of the things I love about the business aspect and the ministry aspect, is because there's no age limit required.
Right,
Everyone can write a book. It's not too late. It's not too
right,
late to start. I even got my mother. My mother, she had been writing poetry where I had stopped writing poetry and moved to another genre, and she just picked up where I had left off. And I'm like, wow, mom, like really? But just share. Do not harbor your story, your testimony. You ain't got to tell people about the gruesomeness, but you can tell them how you made it through, because it's all by the grace of God. Nobody can get through it by themselves, and the testimony is not for you, it's for others. Somebody need to hear how they overcame addiction. Somebody need to hear how they overcame alcoholism. Somebody need to hear how they healed from mental instability. Somebody need to hear about how you're able to walk back normally where you had a traumatic experience. Somebody need to hear that you can overcome and beat cancer. Somebody need to hear all these stories. So it's important.
it's very important because you know you could triumph with someone else's testimony, and it
Yes.
gives you hope because
Yeah.
if he did it for them, he could do it for you. And, you know, according to his will, of course. But
Amen.
the testimony is how we overcome. You know, and that is that foundation. You know, of growth and healing is testimony, and that's why at church I used to love when they used to have testimony service when I was in college. We used to go to a church, and they would have night service on Sundays, and it was testimony service, and you would hear all the different testimonies, and I would just be looking around. They stand up, I'm just looking around like, wow, all the testimonies that they were talking about, but yet they were talking about these testimonies, and I couldn't understand how happy they were. And I
Yes.
get it, over time, because they had the victory, but they would be
Yes.
so. I'd just be looking around like, oh my God, and I used to be like, I want to go through that. But that was young, and I didn't want to go through
Right.
anything. But the testimony, and they were powerful, and sometimes it would, the whole service would just be nothing but testimony, and the whole service just be on fire because people were just saying about the goodness of God, and
Yes.
that's what we don't talk about anymore. We don't give each other a chance to talk,
Right.
about the testimony. It's so programmed, but
Yes.
something we just need to hear, and that's why, like you were saying, writing, your story is very important, and not to hold on to that testimony, but to share it with others. And also, writing the book would also open up the avenue for you to possibly go and speak on that book in person to others. So not only do they have the book, but now they hear your voice. So they hear the emotion coming from you as you talk about your story.
Yeah.
So writing that book as an entrepreneur is 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 so important. And I think that a lot of times they always encourage those who are going into the areas of entrepreneurship as coaching and consulting, mentoring, things like that. They always say, write a book, write your story. Even those who's going into business, they can write about business branding, or the
Right.
essence of business, management, anything containing to that. But whatever it is, share your story. And if you have any reservations about sharing your story, or don't know how to share, or just apprehensive about sharing, then see Miss Kelley Smith, because she had, like I said before, she has poured into, her craft. She has, produced those books, part of anthologies, which is a beautiful thing. So she has the experience. She teaches on these things. She speaks on these things. So if you're thinking about writing a book, I say do it. Don't hesitate. It will definitely take your business to the next level beyond what you can even imagine. It will open up so many doors. And I think that's what they understand. Being an author is, it's a wonderful thing. And not only that, it does kind of boost your self esteem a little bit. Be like, oh, I'm an author.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, I wanted to ask you also about being a poet. When you were being a poet, I know that you kind of, probably just spilled out poetically how the different things you were feeling, or, just different testimonies as far as being poetic. Was that very challenging to be able to express yourself in that manner?
It was it to me. It wasn't at first, because I was more into free verse,
Okay.
because there's a lot
Oh,
of forms of poetry that I did not tap into. And I felt that free verse for me was just my way to open up and express myself without having to have limitations.
right.
I mean, so with free verse, it's just, pouring out and getting those words. If you into wordplay, and get you a thesaurus, and just find different words that you can use without actually saying the word.
Right. Yeah. Bringing out that creativity. And
Yeah.
and again, like I say, those, that will come to you, those are some of the things and tools and techniques that you would give them in order to have a very creative book for, to capture the reader's attention. You
Yeah.
know, it's tricks to the trade,
Yeah.
that we don't
It,
know. So we got to learn so that we can have, that kind of success. But I think that's a wonderful thing. But I mean, I think it's just, I love to write. Like I said, I'm trying to get back to writing that book again on my own. But
okay.
I love to write these anthologies because not much required as much as a book. But I do
Right.
right though. I do. I love to read other stories too, because when I do get the books, I'm eager to go to their stories, because you don't really hear about the stories when you're in the midst of creating the book. So you get to
Right.
sit down, you get to really be like, you put the face with the story, and you be like, wow, really, oh my goodness, they went through that. So it's such a wonderful thing to write. It's such a wonderful thing to be an author, and it's also a wonderful thing to even be known as number one bestseller. So it's great. So thinking about writing, I'm telling you, Miss Kelley Smith is the person for that. Get in contact with her. And on that note, how can we reach you, and what about your services, and how can we reach you so that we can possibly receive services from you?
You can reach me on Facebook if you go to Kelley Poet Emotion Smith. Also, the Right to Inspire, that is and it's WRITE, number two, Inspire. Also, on the website to the Attitude and Power, you can reach me through that website as well.
So I would say do that, and I would say look out for the book that's coming out, Fearless Living, and also the other anthology that you're on.
Yes, the Chain Breaking Experience is a poetry book, and this is volume 30, I believe.
Okay. And also too that I know you have a website for Amazon. Do you want them to go directly to Amazon, or do you have a website where they can come and purchase from you
If
directly?
if you go to Amazon, you'll go to amazon.com/KELAMENTERSMITH, and you will see a slew of books on the site.
So I'll make sure that the websites that's not here, that I will make sure those are available as well.
Thank
So they
you.
get in contact with you with your books, and also get in contact with you with your services to possibly get their book in motion as well. And also, lastly, do you have anything that you would like to say, and any inspirational words that you haven't already said, because it was so much poured out? But anything else you want to say to inspire us?
Oh wow. Just to be encouraged. Don't let the issue of what it looks like define who you are. It's not who you are. You are who God says you are. Trust and believe. You have a plan. You have a purpose for being on this earth. Seek God. Seek Him for everything. There is nothing too hard or too small that He can't handle. Trust me. I've been through the fire. I've been through the storm. I'm still in the midst, but God is able. When I tell you, I have so much to be grateful for, so much I can share with others, and just the traumatic these 2 years that it don't even cap what really has occurred during those trying times. But just know that you have a call and purpose. When you're in the thick of it, when it seems like these fiery darts keep coming at you, that means God is up to something. The enemy don't want you to expand on your gifts. He don't want you to know what your purpose is. Keep pushing, keep praying, keep fasting, and have that perseverance and determination that no matter what, you will be a conqueror. So that's all I have.
And thank you. And on that note, that was the period at the end of the sentence. You really can't say much after that. So we have to take heed on the words that you delivered to us today, and we need to apply those things, and we really need to understand the power of prayer. That's the essence of it all. And
Yes.
because of your resilience, and because of your prayer life and your relationship, you're where you are today, and you're able to hold on, and you're able to be here. And like I said, being grateful to God that you are even able to come and share with me today, after we've tried so many times. And
You,
I
yeah.
told you, I said, you take your time. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. I said, I'm just grateful that you decide to just share with us. So it has truly been uplifting, and it makes me appreciate that relationship that I do have with him. Um, and it made me realize that when I was going through, that prayer was sustaining me. We have to stop, and we got to think back. How did I get here? And I didn't do it. It was him. It was God. It was prayer.
Oh yes. Oh
Thank
yes.
you for reminding us that, giving us that, and that giving us that charge as well. And like I said before, Miss Kelley Smith, if you're trying to write, um, do not hesitate. Don't wait. Get your story out there. It
Yeah.
will be exciting. It will be fun, and it will be profitable. It will be life changing. And again, just do it.
Just do it. I like that. Just do it.
Just do it. So thank you so much,
Thank
and I
you.
really appreciate you. And like I said, the websites will be shared, and we're going to be seeking you out to find out what's next for Miss Kelley. The was it Kelley in motion? No,
Forward in
Poet in
motion.
motion. Kelley Poet in motion Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.